What is up, YouTube? Chris here with Chrono Clash Central, and we're gonna do the green set review for the Naruto Boruto expansion sets, and I'm really excited for these. They've got a lot of cool mechanics. I have taken a look at all of them, given it a bit of thought, but a little disclaimer, I have not played with the cards yet, so things may still be a little bit off. This is still fairly first impressions. So Shizune, 2 cost, 1 strength, but she has Sentinel, so that's pretty nice. You got a cheap Sentinel you can drop down, keep yourself protected right before the game ends, and when she gets destroyed, you have to choose a battler, and that gains Sentinel too. So this second ability is really what brings Shizune over the top in my mind. She's like definitely, if I had to do 4 out of 5, are we gonna do 4 out of 5? Sure, we'll do 4 out of 5 skills. I think she's definitely like kind of towards the top, like a 4 out of 5. Maybe even 5 out of 5 if I'm being honest. Like, this ability is really good because if you're playing an offensive deck, especially if you're playing an offensive deck, you can have her on defense. If your opponent, you know, if you're playing recovery, you probably are, you're gonna have some other units on the field that are gonna be tapped, and your opponent's basically forced to attack all of them because of Shizune. And on top of that, she's got the Guardian ability that she choose any battler and against can't attack until the end of the turn. So that's insane. That's a pretty big deal. So she's just really defensive all around. So I really like this card. I'm gonna drop the we're gonna drop the rating scale. I'm just gonna talk about each card. Chiriku. So I wasn't a huge fan of this card to begin with. It's got toughness 2. It's a 4 cost, 2 strength. It's kind of wimpy. And when it attacks, you draw a card and you give any battler -1 strength. But I gave it more thought. I think this card's going to be really good in the upcoming meta. Ability on Guardian, draw 1 card, EX card. Whenever the red-purple reviews come out, there's a lot, and I'm telling you, a lot of field destruction. So I think the old kind of aggro strategy that was really strong in my opinion, of like playing a ton of guys, is going to be much weaker. So having people like Chiriku, he's not too high costed, but he's got toughness 2, so he's really going to stick around. I think that's going to be really impactful. So Chiriku, don't blow over this guy. I think he's going to be pretty strong. He's kind of like a sleeper in my mind. Of course, got Asuma, cool kid. So he's kind of like a Tsunade. He's kind of like a Tsunade from the original set. Just comes into play, gives something -4 strength. He's forced to kill himself if he has to, but he's also got the ability on the defense. And I think that's the real key about Asuma, is that he essentially acts as an 8 strength card on defense, and that's insane. So I think Asuma, he's going to be a staple for sure, and especially in the control style green decks, maybe even a little bit of the aggro ones, because if your opponent has a Boruto, you can play Asuma, give it -4. If you've still got time left, you can attack into it as a it was a 8 or 9 strength. I think it was 9 strength, so then it would be 5, which is a little bit more reasonable to deal with. So I think Asuma is going to be one of those key cards that you're going to see a lot of coming out of this. Izumo Kamezuki. We got first transform card, +1 guardian attack, elusive. When he attacks, give a chosen battler -2 strength. I think that's going to be the key here, because he can attack into something that has 6 strength. He can attack elusive units, and he can also just go for the guardian stack and take out a weakling. So he's pretty versatile. Kind of a fan. I'm not sure where he'll fit in with everything. I'm really excited because there's a lot more cards to work with, so there's going to be a lot more variety in the decks that we get to see and that we get to play around with, and that I'll get to show you. So I'm not exactly sure where I see Izumo fitting just yet, but I think he's pretty solid. Genma Shiranui, on the other hand, not a huge fan of. But I think he'll still be pretty strong, because first of all, when he gets destroyed, you get a draw card, so he kind of recovers himself. But the fact that he's 6 cost, 5 strength, that's also pretty good. You know, we've seen the 5-5 rule thing. That still pretty much holds, so he's got decent stats. But the fact that he has leadership and transform is kind of like a non-bow to me. If you're gonna transform into him and go into attacks on your opponent's turn, then you don't have any more time left to use leadership. So it's kind of like I don't know how I feel about it. But you could just play him as a 6/5 with 2 leadership, which is, you know, it's decent. It's decent. So he's kind of mediocre. Tsunade. All right, so 7 cost, 4 strength. It's a little iffy with all the kind of 4 strength removal. Like we just saw Asimo who can kill her just from playing. So that's a little iffy. The 4 strength's a little iffy. But she goes up to 7 when you're attacking and subtracts 3 from anything. So it makes her a pretty big beater on the attack. And because she's transformed, she can come out kind of like surprise, surprise, come out of nowhere. So I'll give her a little bit of edge just because she's got that surprise factor of being able to attack into something with 10 strength and trade with it, or go for the Guardian and take out a 3 cost. And there's a lot of, not a 3 cost, a 3 strength. And there's a lot of good 3 strength or less units. So, all right. Tobirama Senju. I just like that he's a big boy with Sentinel. There's not a lot of those, and if you want to play a defensive Sentinel game, he's just going to add to that. And on top of that, you can really punish people because you can be like, all right, I'm going to take out 2 of your Guardians, and I'm going to be sitting behind the Sentinel. So he acts like in multiple ways as a game finisher and a staller. So Tobirama, simple but effective. Hashirama's kind of on the same lines, in my opinion, because he's got the toughness. So he's going to be hard to get rid of. He's got the beefy 9 strength stat line. So he's basically going to sit around almost guaranteed. So the way I see Hashirama being used is you probably slap him out there, put a toughness on him. Like you get some EX cards, you slap him out there, take out 2 of your opponent's Guardians, because not many things are going to stop a 9 strength, especially with toughness. Hopefully he keeps toughness so he can live your opponent's turn, and then you can EX on top of him for some, like, keep the pressure going. So I think Hashirama will be pretty good. You know, again, kind of like Tobirama. Not really flashy, but still probably pretty solid when it comes down to it. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, +1 EX, all your other battlers gain 1 Guardian attack. Is kind of ed to me. I think it could be good if you've got the Swarm strat going on. But again, I feel like that's not going to be as good as it once was. If you got like a Swarm strat, red-green with recovery and stuff, it could be good, but it's just a little iffy to me. And then on the Guardian effect, you got +1 Guardian, which is nice, but the 2 sides of it are kind of conflicting. So that's my take. It's not a very focused card. All right, let's get into the EX cards. We've got Hashirama Senju. 5 cost is kind of like the sweet spot for Naruto cards. There's a ton of insanely good 5 cost cards, so that gives it a bonus. 5 cost, 5 strength, pretty good. Attacks for 8, gives something -1. So this is a way to deal with Boruto. You've got to keep that in mind. Like, I don't think, as good as the new cards are, Boruto is still a factor. You still have to think about him because there's a lot of new ways to get rid of him. But if you don't have him, you're gonna be in trouble. So he does get Boruto. He kicks 1-drops in the face, attacks for 8, and has 2 toughness. So he's gonna be hitting for his 2 Guardians, almost guaranteed. But you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of cards in hand for him. So that's the trade-off. But I think he's pretty solid, especially since he sits at the 5 cost slot. Next, we got Tobirama EX, 8 cost, 9 strength, beefy boy, and triple toughness. So this guy's and +2 Guardian attack. So basically 2 swings from this guy, your opponent's gonna be crying. Gonna have no Guardians left, especially because he's gonna be living through all of them with all that toughness. I think you might have to worry against Godzilla decks, but if you're not playing against Godzilla, this guy cannot be stopped. He's kind of unstoppable because there's not enough minus strength, in my opinion, or from what I remember, to really like kill him through the toughness without just being like destroy. And then when he attacks you, draw 1, so you're gonna be like recovering your toughness. So pretty good. All right, and lastly, we've got Hiruzen Sarutobi. Our last EX card, cost 9, is a huge hefty cost. You're probably never gonna get it. I don't really consider the 9 cost viable, but now that we have the swap mechanic to kind of like turbo out bad guys, and we've got the Hashirama, who is 8 cost, who with toughness, it's probably going to be sticking around. All you got to do is drop one other guy. Maybe that will change. But basically Hiruzen, he's got, you know, the usual fast +1 guardian attack. When you summon him, we got choose a battle to give it -5, and then when he attacks, choose a battle to give it -5. So we talked about the 5/5 rule. If your deck is built for that and your opponent has a Sarutobi, you're gonna get smashed, because he can kill 10 strength without even trying. He can kill 5 and 5. So Sarutobi is gonna be a battlefield murderer, to say the least. But you know, of course, he's got that 9 cost, which makes me a little because it's not gonna be very fast. But I will say that I think decks are going to slow down because you're not going to have as much of the spread factor going on due to the new red and purple cards. So that is it for green. Let me know what you guys think of green. What are your favorite cards? I think my pick for best card in green has to be Shizune. Let me know what you guys think of the green cards. My top pick for best card is probably going to be Shizune. She just feels like she has the whole package. She's going to fit in a lot of decks, a defensive deck. She's going to fit in aggressive decks. And she's got a spicy little combo with the old Sakura Uchiha, where you can attack with her or sacrifice her to an EX, give your opponent's unit Sentinel, and play the Sakura Uchiha for Sentinel. So it's got a little special place in my heart for that. But yeah, that's my vote. What's yours? Let me know in the comments. Keep on learning, keep on having fun, as we always do here at Chrono Clash Central. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.